Steven, what you was thinking when Tank did that when he took the knee? What you was thinking when he took the knee?
I can't speak.
Can't speak on that?
Can't speak.
He did some bullshit though?
I can't speak.
No personal opinion, nothing?
Yeah.
No, you gotta calm down. Listen to me.
Come on. Hey, come on now. We're trying to get in there. Come on now.
After recording surfaced of a conversation between Dant Davis and his corner, the boxing world quickly sensed that trouble was brewing. As if that weren't enough, additional audio of Devon Davis interacting with the referees eventually leaked to the public, the tipping point that escalated the situation. This revelation became the key factor driving Lamont Roach's decision to file an appeal.
Steve said fight out of the clinch. Yeah. That's what we were gonna do. He came in the back and was like, I'm gonna let you fight out, especially if one arm is loose or whatever the case may be, as long as you...
Unfortunately, the State Athletic Commission chose to downplay his efforts, dismissing the significance of the recordings. In the end, their response to the leaked audio only fueled more controversy within the boxing community.
10-8. Simple. So I was like, all right, the ref started counting. While I'm looking at him, I'm like, the ref started counting. But I see him get up and go to the corner.
The New York State Athletic Commission is still reviewing referee Steve Willis's questionable handling of Lamont Roach Jr.'s knockdown of Danta Davis during Saturday night's bout. On Wednesday, a thought-provoking panel discussion on ProBox TV delved into the controversy. If just one decision had gone differently, Lamont Roach would have won the fight, said veteran boxing writer Dan Raphael, who now shares insights through his Fight Freaks Unite Substack. According to Raphael, Willis's missteps ultimately cost Roach a championship victory and robbed him of handing America's top fighter his first defeat. A lot went wrong, and every misstep seemed to go against Lamont Roach, he added during a conversation on his podcast. Teddy Atlas shared his candid thoughts on the officiating when questioned about the controversial events. In round 9...
I'm sorry. I'm terrible. I am, but I'm ashamed of myself. I am so cynical, but this sport has made me cynical. I'm sorry. I don't see anyone's gonna...
He implied that the referee's performance was lacking and even suggested the possibility of bias, noting that the same leniency wouldn't have been shown to Roach. Bad refs. We need better refs, more educated, and properly trained officials, he said. I'm not going to accuse anyone of dishonesty because I don't know if that was the issue. But what's clear is that we need referees who understand the game, make the right calls, and have the confidence to stand by their decisions. I don't believe that ref would have given Roach the same leeway he gave Tank Davis. Why? Because Tank is a star.
It's going to reprimand this referee. What are they going to do? I mean, it happens too often. It's happened too often. I don't know. We need a national commission. That's the only thing I can think of. But
he went on to say, I think he might have set a record for the biggest crowd ever at the Barclays Center. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they hit a new attendance high, maybe even a gate record. They've hosted concerts, fights, and basketball games there, and this event pulled in big numbers. He's a star with a massive fan base and a strong track record for pay-per-view success. I'm not sure about the numbers for this particular fight, but he's one of those fighters who consistently draws solid viewership. That star power follows him everywhere.
Right now. But the last thing I want to say to put a bow on this one, Bud, we talked about the controversial part, but I want to...
When a referee allows a fighter to take a knee something, not permitted under boxing rules without ruling it a 10-8 round, that's a serious issue. He had just been hit with a jab moments before. And to be clear, this isn't about targeting Tank Davis. People already claim I defend him too much or build him up, and truthfully, he is an incredible fighter. He's a well-rounded, powerful puncher who can fight inside and out, stays composed, has quick hands, works the body, sets traps, and counters effectively. But in this situation, he got away with something he shouldn't have. Not because of him, but because the system allowed it. The fighters aren't the problem, it's the people running the sport. We see these issues repeatedly, and it's time for that to change.
The great part. That was high-level boxing. That was two guys at the highest level showing their skills.
Teddy Atlas weighed in, emphasizing that referees can't overlook actions not covered by the rulebook. Tank gets hit with a jab, and a second or two later, he takes a knee that's a knockdown, plain and simple. If your knee touches the canvas, it counts. This isn't football. There are no fair catches in boxing, he remarked. If it were football, maybe that would be a touchback. But in boxing, the rules are there for a reason. Even Terence Crawford, one of the top pound-for-pound fighters in the world, reacted to the situation. "I didn't know that was a rule I must have missed that day," Crawford joked. Atlas added, "Maybe he was out doing road work, or too busy training when they decided to pass that rule, which of course doesn't exist." "This isn't the Indianapolis 500, Atlas continued. "You can't take a break like it's pit row to change your oil, swap your tires, or wipe grease from your eye. Boxing doesn't work like that." Tank went down on a knee, and credit to Roach, maybe he should have pressed forward. Because the golden rule in boxing is to defend yourself at all times. He would have been well within his rights to keep attacking.
Miss and you counter, and then all of a sudden you're in front of him. Boop! You're the invisible man. You're on the. That's sweet science too. Yes, and it's easier to see. It grabs your attention. Oh wow! Look at that guy. He's on the outside.
I've seen fighters land punches even when their opponent turns or steps away. The referee typically doesn't step in unless the bell rings or he actively intervenes. Roach had every right to keep fighting. He chose not to, showing sportsmanship and class, and he deserves credit for that. But when Tank turned, Roach could have thrown a left hook or a straight left, given his southpaw stance. It might not have looked pretty, but it would have been completely within the rules. The one's in the wrong, Tank for taking a knee, and the referee for allowing it. Letting Tank go to his corner, get whatever was obstructing his vision cleared up, and then return to the fight was a critical mistake. If the referee had called that a 10-8 round, which, by the rulebook, he should have, Roach wouldn't have walked away with a draw. He would have won the title. And let's just say anyone holding a Ply 900 ticket would be celebrating right now.
Middle of the furnace, with all the flames and everything going, and you don't get burnt up. You don't get torched. You don't get scorched.
He wrapped up his thoughts by saying, he turned the tables on the bully, he really did. It's like watching a schoolyard, where the bully usually gets his way, but one day, someone stands up to him. Suddenly, the bully isn't as confident or aggressive anymore. He added, "My cousin used to say, when you rely on intimidation, but the person you're trying to intimidate refuses to back down and becomes the one applying pressure, everything shifts. That dynamic can completely change the fight, and that's something most people won't talk about."
Oh, something funny. When we was talking in like the 12th round, I think the 12th or 11th, we was talking shit, right? But he like, you ain't gonna win.
Roach, a former amateur rival of Davis, should have been the headline story after holding the overwhelming 1,600 betting favorite to a controversial majority draw at Barclays Center. By preventing Davis from walking away with a win, Roach marked the first blemish on Tank's otherwise flawless record. The New York State Athletic Commission also drew criticism for its lack of transparency, later stating that a technical issue prevented them from reviewing the instant replay within the allowed time frame. By failing to recognize Davis's voluntary knee in round 9 as a knockdown, the commission denied Roach a crucial 10-8 point swing, a decision that would have secured him the victory. Beyond the belt, that ruling potentially cost Roach millions of dollars, as he would have entered the inevitable rematch as the reigning champion.
Why not? What you talking about? He like, they ain't gonna give it to you. I said, oh, is that right? So, you know, that's how boxing.
Regulators across the country weighed in on Wednesday, acknowledging the difficult position New York Commission head Matthew Delaglio faces in addressing the human error that unfolded during the fight. Referee Steve Willis initially started, then stopped his 8 count after Davis took multiple punches from Roach, eventually taking a knee and walking to his corner. There, co-trainer Calvin Ford met him with a towel to wipe his face. Davis later claimed he felt a chemical sting in his eye and sought temporary relief. While some argue that Delaglio should retroactively deduct a point from Davis and declare Roach the WBA lightweight champion, others suggest that wouldn't be entirely fair. Knowing he'd been penalized with a knockdown, Davis, a powerful knockout artist, might have fought with more urgency and aggression in the final 3 rounds, potentially changing the outcome of the match.
In round number 9, Gervonta Davis takes a knee, landed a right hand, then 2 jabs afterward. What were you thinking when this happened? Were you surprised as everybody else? What was on your mind?
Man, I was surprised, man. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I thought it was a 10-8
panel, which included retired California referee Jack Rice, trainer Stephen Bredman Edwards, veteran boxing writer Dan Raphael, and ProBox TV analysts Chris Algieri and Paulie Malignaggi unanimously agreed that Roach's bent knee fit the definition of a knockdown. Gary Jonas, founder of ProBox TV and Roach's advisor, submitted an official appeal to the New York Commission, arguing that Roach should be declared the winner. The appeal cited multiple instances where referee Steve Willis could have deducted a point from Davis. The unacknowledged knockdown, turning his back and walking to his corner, and trainer Calvin Ford stepping onto the ring apron to tend to Davis. Mid-round Edwards summed it up bluntly. "Mistakes happen, but it always seems to favor the A side," he said. Steve Willis has had an outstanding career, but this moment seemed to catch him off guard.
Started counting. While I'm looking at him, I'm like, the rest started counting. But I see him get up and go to the corner. So now I'm just like, all right, now I'm confused. I don't know what's going on.
Did you think he was stopping the fight?
Referee Jack Rice explained that officials are granted some discretion as the sole arbiters of a fight, able to make judgment calls on how the bout unfolds. However, Paulie Malignaggi pushed back, saying, "You can't call your own timeout." Dan Rafael added that there was an opportunity to review the replay of the knockdown, but it wasn't taken. That missed chance led Chris Algieri and Malignaggi to agree on the best course of action: an immediate rematch, ideally back at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn.
I didn't think he was stopping the fight, but then again, like when I look at him in the corner, I'm like, what is going on? Like, I don't know. I don't know now. I just don't know what's going on, besides the fact that
the New York State Athletic Commission stated that it's still reviewing the incident, but one lingering question remains. What exactly was going on with Davis? It was undeniably shocking to watch the 30-year-old Baltimore native, a longtime dominant force in the sport, struggle against a massive underdog. But perhaps the real surprise was Roach himself. After moving up to lightweight, Roach looked like the bigger, stronger fighter. He carried himself with confidence, drawing from years of experience competing in the same boxing circles as Davis, and delivered the most impressive performance of his career.
It's sad to say, that's how boxing works. I'm not, totally upset. I figured with a superstar.
The biggest questions revolved around Davis's mindset and the unusual behavior he displayed before, during, and after the fight. It left fans wondering, was this just an off night for one of boxing's pound-for-pound greats? Or had Davis lost the relentless competitive drive that made him such a box office sensation? It's not uncommon for star fighters to show up late to media events, especially Davis, who arrived nearly 2 hours late to his 2023 press conference with Ryan Garcia. But this time, he took it to another level, showing up almost 5 hours late to his first event with Roach in New York, and then arriving 90 minutes late to the weigh-in. While Davis was relaxed and playful throughout fight week, which is typical for him, his behavior during the fight raised concerns. On 2 separate occasions, he broke focus to argue with referee Steve Willis, only to get caught by clean shots from Roach in return.
You won't get too much on paper, but I damn sure thought I had it. Especially when they announced the score for him, I was like, oh, they gonna give me a.
Prime video cameras also captured tense moments in Davis's corner, where he was seen yelling over his trainer Calvin Ford's instructions between rounds, shouting, "Listen to me!" The most controversial moment came in round 9 when Roach landed a series of sharp jabs. Davis began blinking his left eye aggressively, turned away from the action, and took a knee. He quickly stood up and rushed to his corner, where Ford wiped his eye with a towel, an action that could have potentially led to disqualification under boxing regulations. Referee Steve Willis initially started a mandatory 8 count, but stopped at 3, giving Davis a warning before allowing the fight to resume.
Split decision win. I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, oh, shit, here it goes. But as soon as I heard that 114, I was just like, damn, all right, it's over with.
Davis's explanation during the post-fight interview only added to the confusion. His demeanor seemed unusually lighthearted, especially considering how close he came to losing both his title and undefeated record. As the crowd showered him with boos, a reaction that seemed to reflect either disappointment or frustration, Davis responded with an unexpected explanation. "I just got my hair done 2 days ago and they put grease in it," Davis said. "When I started sweating, it got in my eyes and burned. Man, why are y'all booing? I'm just telling the truth. Look at my hair, I just got it done. But it's all good. You know how it is. They love you, then they hate you, and then they love you again."
So, yeah, man, it's just crazy. I ain't gonna lie. It's okay. We gonna run it back. It's okay.
Davis, who holds a mandatory rematch clause in his contract, expressed interest in a second fight on social media Monday. At the post-fight press conference, he appeared more reflective about his performance, though his comments revealed some surprising gaps in rule awareness. Nobody likes a draw, especially from someone who's known for knockouts, but it's cool, Davis said. If we fight again, I know I could do more, and honestly, I should have done more. I lost track of the rounds. That's why we need ring girls. I didn't even know what round it was. That's just facts.
No.
Can you describe what the feeling was like in the ring? And was it to get the towel out, to get the burn out of your eyes, or what was going on? And
I didn't want to get caught.
Didn't want to get caught while my eyes were burning. You can get knocked out like that, Davis explained. I figured it was safer to take a knee, but I honestly didn't know you could get disqualified for receiving mid-round assistance from your corner. When Willis started counting, I was like, what's going on? But it's all good. In a conversation with Colin McGuigan on IFL TV, the Golden Boy highlighted referee Steve Willis's handling of the situation. In the 9th round, after Roach landed a punch near Davis's eye, Davis turned away and dropped to one knee in action that, under the rules, should have been ruled a knockdown. That decision would have cost Davis a point, and the round should have been scored in Roach's favor.
The decision, or I think the draw was meant to be. So I like the draw.
Do you like the draw? Do you like the knee though? Was that a good call on the ref?
No, if you take the knee, man, we're not.
I don't even know who the commission or the referee is, De La Hoya admitted. Honestly, I was surprised the referee allowed that to happen because he's an experienced professional. The 52-year-old former boxer noted that Steve Willis had officiated several Golden Boy promotion fights, making his handling of the situation even more unexpected. However, what stood out most to De La Hoya wasn't the officiating. It was Lamont Roach's impressive performance. Roach really put Gervonta Davis in trouble, and Davis is a phenomenal fighter, De La Hoya said. I just feel like Roach was locked in and fought incredibly well. It was a great fight.
If you take a knee in the 90s or in 2000, you're taking the point off. That's the bottom line. You're taking the point off. I don't know what happened with the referee. Maybe he was a little starstruck. Maybe he was a little...
Boxing promoter Eddie Hearn weighed in on the New York State Athletic Commission's review of the controversial bout between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach. While Hearn expressed skepticism that the commission would overturn the majority draw, he believes a rematch is inevitable. I don't think the NYSAC will change the result, Hearn said, but I do expect them to push for a rematch. The fight, held at Barclays Center last Saturday, ended in a majority draw, but the 9th round controversy where Davis voluntarily took a knee without the referee ruling a knockdown has prompted an official investigation.
Fight. One thing that's kind of baffling is that it wasn't a knockdown. I mean, look, he wasn't hurt. There's no doubt about that, but if you take a knee in the fight and you touch down, whilst punches are being thrown, it has to be a knockdown. I've heard some people...
According to Dan Raphael of Fight Freaks Unite, Lamont Roach's legal team has officially appealed for the fight result to be changed to a victory, whether by decision, knockout, or disqualification. Despite the controversy, promoter Eddie Hearn doesn't believe the New York State Athletic Commission will alter the outcome. Speaking to Fight Hype on Tuesday, Hearn shared his perspective. No, I don't think they changed the result, he said. Can the state call for an immediate rematch? I don't think so. It's really up to the governing body. The World Boxing Association, which sanctions the lightweight title, has the authority to order a rematch, but the commission's role is limited to reviewing the bout itself. Regardless, Hearn remains confident that a rematch is inevitable.
That he should be disqualified. He went back to the corner. I don't buy that, to be honest with you. I mean, I think that's a warning. But it's a bit of a bizarre situation. For me, there was a lot of people in boxing that were saying that this is a really tough fight.
Everything I'm hearing points to the rematch happening. I think it's pretty much set, he revealed. He also addressed the 9th round controversy, emphasizing that Davis's decision to take a knee should have been ruled a knockdown. If you voluntarily take a knee during live action, especially while punches are being thrown, it has to count as a knockdown, Hearn explained. I've heard some people say he should have been disqualified for walking back to his corner, but I don't agree with that. A warning would make more sense, but the whole situation was pretty strange.
She's a serious fighter. I said it might not be the biggest profile fight, but it's actually quite a tough fight. And Shakur said to me, like, even the day before, I'm telling you, he's going to have big trouble tomorrow night. And I just feel like hopefully this could be the little something that gives Gervonta a little...
The New York State Athletic Commission's review remains ongoing, with no final decision announced yet. WBA lightweight champion Gervonta Davis's standing as one of the top pound-for-pound fighters is now under scrutiny. While one of the 3 judges scored the fight in Davis's favor, the other 2 ruled it a draw, leading to the majority decision. The pivotal moment came in round 9 when, after absorbing several sharp punches from 29-year-old Lamont Roach of Washington, DC native Davis unexpectedly took a knee. This unusual sequence became the defining moment of the fight, leaving fans and analysts debating the outcome. For more updates, in-depth analysis, and all the latest boxing news, stay connected by subscribing to our channel and turning on notifications, so you never miss out on fresh content. Until next time, stay safe and keep watching.